Hi, everybody. Jeff Knox, broker and owner of the Dallas Real Estate Store. And I want to talk to you real quickly about these free reports that you can get for Newman Village. And you're going to see what others are paying for similar Frisco homes. Clicking here may save you thousands of dollars. And that's a factual statement. And I'm going to show you what kind of reports you're going to get that could save you those thousands of dollars. So we clicked on the link on the page, and it's going to take us to a registration page. All right. Now let me dive quickly in and show you the type of report you're going to get before we talk about the registration page. All right. As you can see, this is for Newman Village, and you can see it right up here. Now this is from 2012, so it's just a sample report, but it is from 2012. It's going to show you the kind of data you can get when you order the most recent sales report on the registration form. All right. So let me throw an example out for you. All right, so the average price per square foot in Newman Village in 2012 was selling at about $145 a square foot. All right, so let me give you an example of how this is going to save you money or could save you money. Let's say that you are driving around Newman Village and you find a specific property that you like. So let's say you're either working with a realtor who has not given you this type of information, or you're doing this on your own. So you find the property that you like. All right, and let's say that that seller is asking 165 a square foot. Okay, let's say that they are high at 165 a square foot. And let's say that you negotiate that deal down to $155 a square foot. So everything's smooth sailing. You close on that house and you bought it and it's yours and you paid $155 a square foot. What you don't know, because you haven't gotten this type of report, is that the average sales price in Newman Village is actually $145 a square foot. So the guy across the street and the couple two streets over paid $145 or around $145 a square foot, and you paid $155. Well, today's up and down roller coaster market of one day it's good, one day the property values are high, one day they're low, one day it's going up, one day it's going down. You can't afford right now to overpay by $10 a square foot on a property where everyone else would have probably paid about 145. All right, so let's say that that property is 4,000 square feet and you overpaid by $10 a square foot. That just cost you $40,000. Let's say the property is 5,000 square feet. That cost you $50,000. So the math says knowing this ahead of time and doing your due diligence as a buyer could save you thousands and thousands of dollars. Now that I've told you how this works, let me tell you what these are. All right, these are what are called CMA customer reports, and they're comparative market analysis. And what it's going to show you is the address of every property that's sold on the most recent sales history. Okay, the city, of course, is Frisco. Bedrooms and bathrooms, garage spaces, the square footage of the property, the acreage of the lot, the year that it was constructed, did it have a pool, current days on market prior to the property receiving a contract. All right, the original list price, sales price versus list price, and that's just the percentage that these people received from their list price to their sale price. So this one right here on the top, Grand Valley, got 95% of its original list price. It's going to tell you the sold date. It's going to tell you the price per square feet and the end sales price. Okay. Now, when it does this, it takes into account all these properties, and down here you can see the number of properties for 2012 was 42. Again, you'll get the most recent sales data when you order this report. Okay. So the number of properties was 42. And this little box down here is kind of cool. What it does is it takes into account all 42 properties, gives you the minimum, the maximum, and the average. So it can show you these in a little bit more of a condensed form. And again, there were 42 properties. All right. So one thing I want to point out before we leave this information comes directly from netris.marketlinks.com. And what Netris is our professional MLS site. All right. And you have to be a licensed realtor or broker, enrolled, and a member of our MLS data board, all right, which is Netris, North Texas Real Estate Information Systems. Staying along those lines, let me take you back to the registration page that you got to from the very beginning. Okay, so this report could literally save you thousands by letting you know what other buyers are paying for similar Frisco homes. We talked about that. You do not want to be the one who overpaid because you did not have access to the most recent Frisco sales data. This report will give you that. Now, you cannot get this type of insider information on your own, and nobody other than a licensed agent can give you this type of proprietary report. Not Trulia, not Zillow, not Realtor.com. So recall back just a second ago when I was showing you these reports were actually coming from our real MLS. Now, the reason that Trulia and Zillow and Realtor.com cannot provide you with this type of information is because it's restricted. They are big box websites that pull their information on an open feed from our MLS. However, Trulia, Zillow, and Realtor.com are not real people. So they're not really a registered realtor and they're not part of our MLS board. So they don't get the behind the scenes back office tools that real agents get. So again, you cannot get this type of information anywhere else other than a licensed realtor, and we're giving it to you for free. All right, what you get when you order these reports, you are going to get, let me scroll down, you're going to get free comps and sales prices for every Frisco home in all Frisco subdivisions. You're going to get the most recent report showing you all this data for every Frisco subdivision. Now, I know that you're at Newman Village, right? And you're going to get the Newman Village report. You saw the sample report. However, what happens a lot of times is buyers come to us and they say, look, we have a $500,000 budget. We want a 4-bedroom, a 4-bath, and we want a pool. Now, maybe that's not available in Newman Village, right? So what we do, our job as agents, is to find that home for that buyer with those specifications. So if it happens that that home is in Arbors at Willow Bay, or El Dorado Fairways, or Starwood, or Shattuck Creek, or Griffin Park, it could be in any of those. So what we do is we find those homes, and eventually the buyer will narrow it down to what home they like, and it may not be in Newman Village, right? So we're going to give you access to every Frisco subdivision, and that could save you hours of time. Plus, you're not going to have to bounce around on our website to try and find every subdivision you may be interested in and try and keep up with what reports you have ordered. So know that you're going to get everything in one report, and that's a big convenience to you. All right, what else you're going to get? You're also going to get the Do Not Miss Frisco Schools ISD report. Now, this report is over 80 pages. It scores the entire ISD plus every individual school. It has reviews from the top education people in the state of Texas. So if you're a parent and you're concerned about your child's education, this is a Do Not Miss report. You'll get this also for free when you order these reports. To order these reports is really easy, right? Here is the registration form. You simply type in your name, you type in your email, you type in the CAPTCHA, you hit send. When you hit send and you fill it out correctly, you'll get a little thank you deal down here. And what that will say is, thank you for registering. Your free reports are on the way. Please check your email. Once you get that message, you can pretty much go and check your email and the report should be there. What we did is we set up an automated response to get these to you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. So when you order these reports, you should literally get them in under a minute. You can do it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you'd like a more detailed report or you have any questions, feel free to call us. Our phone number is right here, okay, 972-342-0000. You can also hit the contact us and send us an email. My name's Jeff Knox. I'm broker and owner of the Dallas Real Estate Store, and we look forward to talking with you soon. Take care.